Welcome to Annie Gaming episode 2. Justin here. Thank you for joining us here at Otakus And originally, Annie Gaming episode 2, as I alluded in episode 1 at the end of our episode, Eureka 7 Volume 1, The New Wave, I said that I have a ghost, and that was a reference to Ghost in the Shell. And I was going to do Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. Unfortunately, I had issues recording the game, so I will get to that game down the line. However, I do have another good addition to Annie Gaming, and that is going to be Robotech Battlecry. I love Robotech. It is one of my favorite animes of all time, next to Neon Genesis Evangelion. And just to give you an overview of it before we get into our little deep dive, Robotech Battlecry came out for the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. It was developed by Vicious Cycle and published by TDK Media Active. It is a game that attempts to merge the scope of the Robotech franchise. It has some really fast paced action that you expect from a video game. And we're going to go into a deep dive of the world of the Macross saga and how this thing brought it to life from story, gameplay, graphics, and music. So let's really get into it. Let's start off with the story. So Robotech Battlecry doesn't just retell the events of the Macro saga, which to me personally is the best saga in all of Robotech. It expands on them by introducing a new protagonist, which you play as Jack Archer. He's an ace pilot. Jack's journey is intertwined with the main events in the Robotech series, but it offers a fresh perspective on a conflict between humanity and the Zentradi. The story begins with Jack as a rookie pilot, quickly rising through the ranks to become one of the most skilled Veritech pilots in the Robotech Defense Force, also known as the RDF. The narrative is divided into multiple missions, each correlating with key moments in the Robotech timeline. You'll encounter familiar characters such as Rick Hunter, Roy Folker, Lisa Hayes, and even Lin Min May, also while experiencing new arcs that is unique to Jack's story and his perspective. The way the game narrative is structured allows you to experience an emotional depth that you are expecting to get from the Robotech saga, with devastation of war, camaraderie among your RDF pilots. While the story doesn't stray far away from the series' established lore, it does capture that spirit and essence of Robotech, and it does that very well. And you're going to see that when we get into sound. But let's talk a little bit about the gameplay. Gameplay. As I stated last week, what is an anime game if it doesn't make you feel like you are fully part and immersed in the anime world? Robotech Battlecry does this very well by making you feel you're part of the anime, and it does a good job of that by letting you piloting the Veritech fighters, which is used to combat the Zentradi forces. These versatile mechs can transform into 3 battle modes. If you're familiar with Robotech, then you already know. If you know, I will tell you right now. You have the fighter jet, you have the Guardian, which is a half jet, half battleoid, and then you have the battleoid, which is a robot, each offering distinct combat advantages. Fighter mode, ideally for high speed aerial combat. The fighter mode allows players to engage in dogfights with the Zentradi battle pods and fighter craft. The controls are tight and the speed is exhilarating, especially when you hit that X button if you're playing it on a PlayStation 2. And it really gives you the feeling of an ace pilot in the heat of battle. Guardian mode is something that I use mostly when we're doing retcon missions or we're going into the city to protect somebody. This is a hybrid form of the jet and the battleoid, and it requires both speed and precision. This is truthfully to me one of the best modes of the out of the three. You can hover in the mid-air while you're dodging incoming fire, and you can switch between ground and air targets with ease. This is to me the most balanced mode of the three, and it also serves as the most versatile one as the three, as you can frequently use this form in different mission scenarios in the game. Battleoid mode is good when it is ground combat is required, but you can also use this in the space levels as well. Battleoid mode turns the Veritech into a powerful walking tank. This mode is best suited for taking out enemy infantry's mechs and installations, offering heavy firepower, but you are slow, so you have to sacrifice your speed for that. The game's mission structure, it could be a hit or miss, and this is where, well, I'll get to the flaws in a minute, but It ranges from dogfights in space to ground battles where you're mostly using your Guardian mode and Battleoid mode in urban environments. The one thing I really do like about this though, they do have destructive environments. You can actually blow down a city. You can blow down buildings, environments fall, you can see buildings crash. Not all of them, but there's a handful enough to really make you feel like you're in the heat of battle. They have escort missions, which I will have to say is probably the most annoying ones as well. Base defense, large scale assaults, ensuring that the gameplay remains engaging. So they offer you enough of variety that way you do not get bored easily. That way it doesn't make it feel as repetitive as some certain other mech games. There are a different variety of missions in here. There's unlockables like such as different skins. You can wear a Rick Hunter skin or a focus skin for your Veritech. So they offer you a little bit more in depth when it comes to the combat and allows players to really evolve and challenge for each mission. However, as much as I love Battlecry, it is not without its flaws. The difficulty spike is punishing at times, especially during missions with multiple objectives at once with a relentless enemy wave. I admit I have to play this game on easy at times because the curve can be steep, and just because there could be one section where you have to escort a convoy. But hey, this building's over here is getting shot down, so you got to hurry up and take care of the Zentradi forces over there, and then rush back to your convoy and hope they didn't get destroyed if there's a whole bunch of enemy waves in there. So they do really spike up the difficulty during at times. So it can get a little bit frustrating, can get a little bit clunky, especially with the controls at times. It's not the best on when it comes to responses. However, it is rewarding when you get to that particular gameplay, which I thought was really good. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the graphics. Robotech Battlecry uses cell shading graphics, which is a technique that gives the games a distinct anime inspired aesthetic. The shell shaded graphics actually work for this. I've seen a lot of mech games where the shell shaded graphics didn't wasn't as colorful and vibrant as this game looks. It has some really art style that really does a good job when it comes to the original anime, especially when you see the communications, when you see Lisa Hayes pop up, or Roy, or Rick, or Minmay, and they're talking to you. They look gorgeous for the still images that they use. The Veritech fighters are really great designed, really well crafted, creating the same look as the on screen counterparts. Transportation through modes are fluent with a push of a button on the D-pad. You can switch from Guardian mode to Battleoid mode, back to Jet mode, Fighter mode. So the graphics are really good. However, I would say there's lacking of detail when it comes to the cities. Most of the cities looks kind of bland, doesn't really hold up to this day, and the character models do get a little bit repetitive, especially when it comes to the environments. But however, the shell shaded graphics make the game look gorgeous, and it does a good job on that. Now let's talk a little bit about the sound.
We are under attack by alien invaders in Sector 412. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. All forces proceed in battle formation.
Well, boys, you heard her. This is the real thing. Destroy all targets. We've got to cut them off before they reach Macross City.
I'm on my way, Roy.
Wolf Squadron, move to intercept invaders at Zone 428. Traffic's pretty heavy out here, so break formation, but try to keep each other covered.
Robotech Battlecry, the music, OMG, it is good. And you know why it's good? Because they actually use the music from the show, which is rare because I don't know why. Maybe it's licensing issues. Maybe developers don't have the rights to it. Maybe it'll cost a little bit more. But the fact that Robotech Battlecry actually has the soundtrack of the show, has the original cast from that show to reprise their roles: Lisa Hayes, Roy Fokker, Rick Hunter, Reba West reprises her role as Lemon May. So you really make it feel like, oh man, okay, I'm playing a Robotech game. I'm playing the anime. It has some original themes, especially like for Jack Archer and certain battles, but for the most part, you do get those battles that we know and love, those battle themes that we know and love from Robotech. And I felt that that was crucial because Robotech has some of the best music in anime, especially when it came to the original score. So each mission is accompanied by music that really complements the action on screen, whether it's high energy dogfights or intense ground assault. You get the iconic Robotech theme that's also present, especially in the beginning. And it's reimagined, it's reorchestrated, so it's a nice remix to it, but it stays true core to it. The voice acting, like I said, is also worth mentioning. The talented cast returns and gives stellar performances throughout. While the music and voice acting is contributing to the game's atmosphere, there are music that can be repetitive, especially during the extended missions. However, if you are a fan of the original soundtrack and you've heard it over and over, it's not going to take away from it. The fact that we have the original soundtrack in this game is chef's kiss because a lot of anime games, as I stated, don't really use the original music. And I feel that the original music really makes us feel more immersed in this. So I'm going to wrap this up and say Robotech Battlecry, it's not a perfect game. Don't get me wrong. However, it is a good nostalgia trip. It captures the spirit of Robotech, while the game has its flaws, the shell shaded graphics, the limitations, the art style, but the music complements with an epic score. The gameplay is solid. The Veritex are fluent. It's a fun game. In the end, Robotech Battlecry is a reminder of why the Robotech franchise is so beloved, especially here in the States. It's a game, while it's not perfect, is enduring. It's a testament to the appeal of the Robotech universe, its ability to really captivate audiences. Whether you're a diehard Robotech fan or you're a newcomer, Battlecry is worth playing. So go ahead if you find it, experience it, and tell me what you think. This is Justin from Otakus.geeks.com. This has been Anime Gaming, episode 2. This was Robotech Battlecry. If you ever played this, if you're like an old head like me, comment below. Let me know what you think. Give me some recommendations. It could be old school anime games. It can be new ones that you feel are worthy to get a spotlight here on Annie Gaming. Comment below. Let me know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll catch you on episode 3. This time I won't allude to it because just in case I have issues. But episode 3, I'll see you next week. Peace.